Hey everyone. Hi, hi, hello, hello. Let's just wait few more minutes. Let more people join, then we'll start. Hello, good evening. Hello, hello. Yeah, okay. So now I think we can start now. So hey everyone, welcome to today's Python live session. So today's session is going to be super helpful and super fun for all the Python beginners. Okay. We are going to talk about functions, inheritance, abstraction, and polymorphism. Okay then. Let's just start by, okay, so we'll start with Python functions. Now, what is a Python function? So a Python function is basically a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. Okay, which avoids means when we use functions, it avoid code repetition and make our code modular. Modular means that for a specific purpose, for a specific task, we don't need to create, means we don't need to write the particular code again and again. By writing the specific task in a function, we have to just call the function and that's it. So first of all, let's see this very basic syntax of Python functions that we have seen in our previous live session also. I'm going to repeat it again. Okay. Now, as you can see, this code snippet, it is the syntax of Python function. Okay. First of all, you have to use the def keyword, then the function name, followed by the round braces. Then you can give the parameter. Okay. Then whatever the function body is, whatever you want to perform in your function, keep that. Okay. And then if you want to return anything, okay, so you can return some values also or some variables also. Okay. But remember that this means in function, whenever you are using the return statement, it is optional. Okay. It's not necessary that every function have to return. No. Okay. It depends on the situation. Okay. Now, why use functions? So in the definition also I have told you reuse the code. Okay. And functions also helps break the code into smaller parts. Okay, it makes the code more readable and it looks like more organized. Now, when we talk about Python functions, so there are two types of functions in Python. Okay, one is the built-in functions and one is the user-defined functions. So we are going to see the user-defined functions today. Okay, and if you want to see some examples of built-in functions, so print. Okay, so the print which we use most commonly, it is a built-in function. Okay, then there is length, which is used to check the length of a string or check the length of a list. Okay, so this is also a built-in function. Then there is type. This is also a built-in function. So these are some built-in functions. Today mainly we are going to focus on the user-defined functions. Okay, so let's just see a simple program. Okay, to create a function, so I'll create a simple very basic function to greet. Okay, okay, so I have created a function called as greet. Okay, it is not taking any parameter, and I'm just printing a simple message that hello, welcome to the Python live class. Okay, and I'll just comment this line for now, and I'll execute the code. As you can see, the code has been successfully executed, but yeah. So whenever you call the function, as you can see, now I have executed the code. The number has been 1, as you can see here. It has been successfully executed, but there is no output. Why? Because only creating the function is not the thing. You will not get the output. The code will not be executed. You have to call the function. So whenever you call the function, then only the particular function will be executed. The task will be performed. Okay. Now for calling the function, you have to just write the name of the function followed by the round braces. Now when you'll execute the cell, you will see, hello, welcome to the Python live class will be there. Now let's see a function which will take two parameters. Okay. So suppose I'm creating a function to perform addition. So I'll take two parameters, a and b, and now I'll use the return statement. Now you can use the print function also. In print, you can write print, and then uh, inside the braces, you can write a plus b. That will also work, okay? Or returning also, it will also work. Okay, so now as you can see, I've created a add function which takes two parameter a and b. Yeah. So now as you can see, we have created the function add, and we are taking two parameter a and b, and we are just using the return statement. And in the return statement, we are just simply doing the addition on the two variables, on the two parameters which we have taken. Okay, is my voice is breaking? Okay, my voice is breaking or am I clearly audible, guys? Okay, am I audible? Okay, okay, okay. And then I have used the print function to call the add, okay, which is a user defined function. And then our output is sum 8, okay. Now, this is not the only way you are taking parameter in your function. There are more ways in which you can take parameter in functions, in Python functions. Let's just discuss about the ways in which you can take parameters in Python functions. This is Jupyter Notebook. Christina Serrano. This is Jupyter Notebook. Uh, you can download it from the internet. Okay, you have to just search for Jupyter Notebook, download Jupyter Notebook, or you can download it from Anaconda also. You can download Anaconda, and then from there you can launch Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so yeah. Now we were talking about the types of parameters in Python functions. Okay, so there are mainly five types. Okay, one is uh, first one is positional arguments. Okay, or parameters you can say. Second is default. Second one is default arguments or parameters. Okay, third one is keyword keyword arguments. Fourth one is arbitrary positional arguments. Okay, and the fifth one is keyword arguments. Okay, now we are going to see all of the five types. Okay, so don't worry. Let's come to the next cell and let's start with first the positional. Okay, we'll start with the first. Okay, so I'll just take the greet example only, greet function example only. What I'm going to do, I'll just take two parameters, name and age, and I'll print that hello. Now previously I was just writing hello, welcome to the live class. Now I'll just put a name also. So hello name, you are, okay, you are this age years old, okay, okay. So now let's just call the function. Now we got an error because whenever you are using parameters, so remember this thing, you have taken two parameters, so you have to give two arguments here. Okay, now so the first one is name, so we'll give name as a random name Alice, and then the second one is age, so let's give age as okay 25. Now there will be no error. Hello Alice, you are 25 years old. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, this is the positional argument. Now, there is one problem whenever you are using positional arguments, okay, means positional parameters. The problem is that Python does not understand that this name and age, okay? Python is treating name and age both as a simple variable, okay, which is given as a parameter. So if I interchange the value, suppose if I'll write 25 here And if I'll write Alice here, so then it will look like this. Hello 25, you are Alice years old. Okay, so it is not the correct sentence, and it is not making any meaningful meaning also, because Python does not differentiate between the data type, because Python is a dynamically typed language. So because of that, in name 25 can be stored, and in age Alice can be stored. So because of that, our whole output will be changed. So this is the issue with the positional argument, that whenever you are using positional argument, so just remember one thing, that you have to remember the position of the parameters, that at what position you have given which parameter. Okay, so name is at the first place. So Alice will be at the first place, and age is at the second place. So 25 will be at the second place. Okay, so you have to do like this. Greet Alice and 25. So now it will make a meaningful sentence. Okay, and now you can perform. So in positional, you have to remember the position. Now let's move to the next one. I hope you have understood this. Okay, guys. Now there is a small questions. Okay, the question is, can you define a function without parameters in Python? Okay, only yes and no in the chat. Can you define a function without parameter in Python? Yes, 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 yes. So those who have said yes, yes, you can define a function without parameters in Python. Very good. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yes, okay. You have understood. Let me give you one more question. Now, your next question is, can you call a function before defining it in Python? Okay, guys, your next question is, can you call a function before defining it in Python? Depend on function. Okay, guys, let me more specifically clear the question. Can you call a user-defined function before defining it in Python? A user-defined function. Okay, Christina is saying, I think yes. Okay, Gaming Inverse is saying no. Initial yes. User defined functions. Let me just modify it over here also. A user defined. Can you call a user defined function? No, no, no. So those who are saying no, yes, you are correct. No. First of all, if you have not defined a function, you cannot call it. So answer is no. Okay. So those who have said yes, it is wrong. First you have to define a function, then only you can call a function. Okay. So first the definition part is necessary for a function. Once a function is defined, then after defining, okay, you can call it anywhere in your program. Okay. If you have defined the function globally, so then you can call it anywhere in your class, but before defining it, you cannot call it. Yeah, Nicholas, right. Nice. Okay, let's move to the next topic, that is the default arguments. Let's see how default argument works. Okay, now I'll do what? I'll just use the same function again, but this time with a different feature. Okay, I'll take name. Okay, and I'll take one more parameter as country, and okay. Now, in the previous example, you have seen that if we have not given the output means arguments, then there was an error. Now this time, as you can see, I have given two parameters, but I will give one argument only. And let's see if it generates an output or it gives an error. Okay. So now you'll notice it's not generating any error. It's giving me the output that hello John from USA. Okay. So as you can see, why there is no error? Because we are using a default argument here, and that we have applied in the country parameter. Okay, so in country by default we have assigned USA to it. Okay, so if we are giving some value, means if we are giving only the name, if we are not giving the country, so then by default it will take USA for every function call. But if we'll call the function with two parameters, okay, with name and country, suppose. So now When you'll provide two parameters here, so one is for the name and one is for the country, then the default one will not be taken. Then this Japan, the second parameter, will override the default parameter. Okay. So if you'll provide the country name, means if you'll provide the second parameter, then it will overrides the default parameter. If you'll not provide it, then by default it is going to give you USA. It means you are not going to face any error. Okay. So this is the default argument. Okay, guys, one more question. Let me know that uh, my screen is clearly visible or not. Just type yes if it is visible and no if it is not. Okay, guys, please respond. If my screen is clearly visible, then yes. If it's not, then no. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay, if it's visible, then it's good. Fine. Okay, guys, just give me a minute. I'll just uh I think the screen is just half. Okay. Let me fix it. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'll just fix it. Okay. Okay, I hope now the screen will be more good and it will be clearly visible. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this was the default arguments. Again, I'll just give you a review of how what we have done in this default arguments. We have created a function. We have taken two parameters, name and country. In country, by default, we have assigned it to a value. Okay. And then we are just printing hello name from country. Okay. Now, the main thing with the default arguments are that whenever you are calling your function, okay, so name is compulsory. So if you are giving the name, okay, and you are not giving the country, so then it is not going to give you any error. It is just directly going to give you John from USA. Means by default it is going to take the country name which you have given. So I have given USA, so it is going to give you USA. But if you are calling the function with two values, now means in country also, if you are giving some value, so then it will override the default argument. So whatever the default argument is, it is going to override it. So if it is USA and I've given here Japan at the function calling time, so it will replace the USA and overrides it and makes it Japan. So hello Akira from Japan. Okay. So this is the default arguments. Again, the same thing. You have to remember the position in default argument. Okay. You have to remember the position here also. So for the solution of this positional thing, okay, for the solution of this positional arguments, we have the third type of argument, that is the keyword argument. Now, let's create the function to show the keyword arguments, how we can take keyword parameters. So let's create a function called as student, in which we are going to take two parameters, name and grade. And let's print name got grade, and grade is okay. Okay. Now at the function calling time, how we have to call it? We have to just give the parameter and we have to assign the value which we want to assign to it. Suppose name is there. So let's assign in name Sarah, and grade is there. So let's assign grade equals to, let's say, A plus. Okay. And let's call the function. So Sarah got grade A plus. Okay. Now, if it was a positional argument, so if I'll give A plus here and Sarah here, so then it will be a wrong, means it will not form a meaningful sentence. But now because we are using it as a keyword argument, so now I'll just show you the difference. Okay. At first place, I'm going to give it the grade, that is A plus, and at second place, I'm going to give the name. Okay. And now you will see that in both the function calling, you'll see the difference that in the first calling, I've given name Sarah and grade A plus. In the second time, when I'm calling the function student, I've first mentioned the grade, that is A plus, and name as Sarah. But in the output, you will notice there is no difference. Sarah got grade A plus, and then again in the second call also Sarah got grade A plus. So this is the benefit of using keyword arguments. Okay, this is the benefit of using keyword arguments. Okay, let's move to the next one. That is the arbitrary positional arguments, the fourth one. Now, before going to arbitrary positional arguments, because it is a little bit advanced topic, I just want to ask you guys a question, okay? Let's see who has listened the lecture clearly. So, my question is, what is the purpose of the return statement in a Python function? Now, guys, it is a one word answer, okay? So, try to reply in one word only. So, my question is, what is the purpose of the return statement in a Python function? Or you can clearly say purpose as use. So, what is the use of the return statement in a Python function? Okay, so now it will be more clear. In one word, just reply it in one word. One word or one or two words, you can use it. Just keep it simple because it will be simple for you guys also to reply. So I'll just again repeat the question. What is the purpose of the return statement in Python function? Okay, Rucha Salunke. Yes, correct. Used to return some value. Okay. So the purpose of return statement is to return some value. Okay. Sends value back to the caller functions. Okay. So basically, the return statement in Python is used to return some value. Simple. Okay. Return some value. Okay. One more question. Okay. What are the values passed to a function called? Okay, guys, your next question is, what are the values passed to a function called? What are the values passed to a function called? Now only we have seen that. Parameters, correct? And one more word. One is the parameter. So parameters are at the function defining time. Yes. And at the function calling time, what we called it at when we call it at the function call time. No, no, it's not positional. So at the defining time, it is called as parameters. When we pass the values at the function calling time, so then it is called as arguments. Okay. Yeah, correct. Okay. Let's move to the next topic, that is arbitrary positional arguments. Now it is very important. Okay. Now, whenever we use the arbitrary positional arguments, so the main thing is with this that you can take as many as arguments, okay, at the function calling time, okay, means so when to use this arbitrary positional arguments when you don't know that how many parameters you will need, okay, so when you don't know that how many exact number of parameters is not known in that particular function, so then you can go with arbitrary positional argument. Now I'll show you how. So suppose I'm creating a function to add all, okay, add all numbers. Now how many numbers I'm going to add it together, I don't know. I don't have any idea about that. So then you have to use arbitrary positional arguments. Now, how to create arbitrary positional argument or how to create a parameter as an arbitrary parameter? So then you can to use an asterisk symbol and then you have to write the name of the parameter. So asterisk and then numbers. Okay, numbers is the name of the parameter which I'm going to use, and asterisk will make it arbitrary positional argument. Okay, now in the function body, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a variable total and I'm going to use the built-in function sum, and I'll just put the numbers inside the sum. Sum will do what? Whatever the value means numbers we are going to take, it is going to add all the numbers together and that will be stored in total, and then we'll print. Okay, and then we'll print total and we'll call the function add all. Now we can put as many as values we want. Okay, and the output will be the sum of all these values. So all these four values 10, 20, 30, 40, the sum is 100. Okay, so this is how you can use the arbitrary positional argument. Okay, someone has said do not use ChatGPT. Yeah, guys, for answering the question, do not use ChatGPT because they are just yes and no and one word answers. Okay, so uh I hope you guys have understood this, that how to make it a arbitrary positional argument. You have to use the asterisk followed by the name, whatever the name of the parameter, it depends on you, and then whatever the means whatever you want to perform, you can suppose if you have to print all the numbers, then you can use a loop also. Okay, then print the number inside the loop, then call the function and give as many as values you want, and that will be printed. Okay, now let's see the next one, that is the last type of arguments which we can use in our Python function, that is keyword arbitrary arguments. Okay, so this keyword arbitrary arguments basically it works like a dictionary because it will you can give uh, the arguments in a key value pair. Okay, so you can give it in a key value pair. So let's see how that works. So I'll create a function student info and I'll make it kwargs. Okay, kw keyword arbitrary arguments. Okay, now what we are going to do, I will use a loop for key value in args dot items. Now main thing is at the function calling time student info. Now at the function calling time you have to give the arguments with its key along with its value. So suppose if I have to, if it is a student info, so a student will have a name. So name equals to, and just give a random name. Let's give John. Then let's give age of the student. If it is a student, so this is age 22, okay? And what course? Let's give course as Python, okay? And now let's execute the cell. So now you can see here we have used the keyword arbitrary arguments. We have given just one argument. And then using that argument, we are just printing it, okay? Using, because I've already told you, it will work in a in like a dictionary, okay? So in a dictionary, how you print both key and value together, okay? Using both for key and value, for key comma value in kwargs dot items. Items will do what it will return in two in a tuple. Okay, it will return both key and value together. And then we are printing the key and the value. And now at the function calling time, what you can do, you can just give as many as values or as many as items you want. Suppose name John, age 22, course Python. Then let's just give email. Okay, so now email will be also added, and blood group. Okay, so you can give as many as items you want, and it will work like this. So these were the all five types of arguments which you can pass in Python functions, because it is a keyword arbitrary arguments. Okay, that's why we use two asterisk here, because it is, as you can see, no, it is working in a key and in a value. Okay, so whenever at the function calling time, you have to pass value for for a keyword arbitrary argument. So you have to give two values, one key and one value together. Means you have to pass an item. So that's why double asterisk is used to mark that it is a keyword arbitrary argument. Okay, if you'll use a single asterisk, then it will be like this, arbitrary. Then you have to, now here as you can see, we are not giving a equal to 10, b equal to 20, c equal to 30, and d equal to 40. Here we are directly giving the values. Now let's move to the next program of today. That will be, I hope you have understood, Kamiza Nicholas. I hope you have understood that what we are doing here. Double asterisk for keyword arbitrary arguments and single asterisk for simple arbitrary arguments. Okay. Now let's move to the next program. Now in this program, we will combine all the types of arguments, okay, in a single function. So let me give combination of all types, okay, and I'll create a function def combine types and a, and let's give b equal to 10. So a is a positional argument, b is a default argument, and then we'll use the arbitrary argument, and then at the end we will use the keyword arbitrary argument. Okay, and let's print, okay, one by one each of them. So a, let's print b, args, and let's print args, Okay. Now we have printed everything, means A, B, the arbitrary argument and the keyword arbitrary argument. Now what we are going to do, the main thing is that the function calling, that how we are going to call the function. So what we are going to write here, combine, first the name of the function, combine types. Okay. Then we will write first the positional argument. Okay. So that will be 5. First we are going to write 5. So 5 is will be assigned to A. Okay. Then for B, if you want to write, you can write also. If you don't want to write, so you can leave it also. But I want to write. Okay, guys, it's again buffering. Let me know in the chat, guys, if it is again buffering. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll just continue writing the code. And let's give x as 100. Now, this x equals to 100 is the keyword arbitrary argument. And this y equals to 200 is also the keyword arbitrary arguments. Okay. Now, let's just call the function. Okay. Now, after executing, as you can see, A is 5, B is 20. Okay. I hope this will look more good. Yeah. Now you can see the output. A equals to 5, B equals, means B is equals to 20, ARGS is 30, 40, and KWARGS is X 100 and Y 200. Okay. So this is the way you can combine all the types of argument in Python user defined functions. Okay. And you can see the ARGS is being returned in a tuple format inside the round braces, and KWARGS is returning in a curly braces in a dictionary like a format. Okay, so that's why you can print using the loops also. So for the ARGS and for the KWARGS, means for the arbitrary arguments and keyword arbitrary arguments, you can use loops also. And I've shown you in the previous program that how you will use the loop for the keyword arbitrary arguments, and for ARGS, means for the arbitrary arguments, you can use a simple loop for I in ARGS and then just print I. Okay. So yeah. Now some people were saying to repeat the explanation, we can lost you. Okay, yeah, because of the network problem. Okay, I'll just give you I'll just give you a difference between the arbitrary and keyword arbitrary arguments. See, first of all, let's just look out at the key code of the arbitrary argument. See, in arbitrary argument, first of all, the first difference is that we have to use single asterisk here. Okay, single asterisk and then the name of the parameter. Now, what will happen in this? Everything will be same. Only at the function calling time, you don't have to give key. Okay, you have to just directly give the values. Only the arguments. So suppose 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, we have not assigned A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Only 10, then 20, then comma 30, then comma 40. And then you can give more values. Suppose you can give 50 also. You can give 60, 70, 80, or how many numbers you want, you can just give it. Okay, but only the values, not the keys. That is arbitrary arguments. In the keyword arbitrary arguments, you have to, as you can see here, you have to give an item. An item is what? It is a combination of a key and value. So you have to give an item here. So you have to mention the key also, and you have to mention the value alongside also. So suppose name is there. So name, the value, the name of the person, that also you have to write. So name John, age 22, course Python, email, everything you have to write. And then because I have used a loop to print all the values, all the key and value together, so that's why you are getting output like this: name John, age 22, course Python, and email. Okay. If you'll combine it, so it will look like this. First the positional argument, then the default argument, then the arbitrary argument, and then at the end the keyword arbitrary argument. Okay. Thank you, Anirudh Goyal, for the 40. Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay. So this will look like this. Yeah. So guys, I think you have understood the Python functions. They are now the Python functions are this much only. We have seen all the types of parameters to take. We have seen what is a Python function, how to use it, how to call it, and what are the different types of arguments. Okay. Now you can perform, you can take your own questions, you can build your own questions, and you can create functions for that. Okay. Now, for a function, there is a saying in Hindi that फंक्शन की तरह लाइफ भी मॉड्यूलर होनी चाहिए, वरना हर बार हार्ट ब्रेक का कोड लिखना पड़ेगा. ओके. सो या, सो हमारा लाइफ भी फंक्शन की तरह ही होना चाहिए. ओके. नहीं तो सेम चीज के लिए हमको बार बार कोड लिखना पड़ जाएगा. सो या, नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक which we have left yesterday. That was from the Python oops, that was inheritance. Okay, so we have started inheritance and we have seen single level of inheritance. Okay, so today will again start with inheritance in Python. Okay, we'll see each type, we'll again see single inheritance, and then multiple, then multi-level, then hierarchical, and then at the end we'll see hybrid also. Okay, and then we'll see some problems also with inheritance. In some of the inheritance there is a problem. Okay, so we'll see the problem also, we'll see the solution of that problem also. Okay, so yeah, let's start. Okay, so let me just name our next topic, that is inheritance. Now what is inheritance? Okay, we have discussed yesterday also that inheritance allows one class to inherit properties and behavior from another class. Okay, that is inheritance. Am I right? Inheritance means what? To inherit the properties and behavior of another class to our class. Okay, from another class to one class, that is inheritance. Now inheritance also allows code reusability. Okay, Python functions also allows code reusability. Inheritance also helps in code reusability and organizing the code. Now we'll do what? Let's see a simple example. Okay, with the example it will be more clear that how inheritance looks like. Okay, now I'm not discussing the types of inheritance, I'm just showing you a simple example of inheritance. Okay, it could be a single inheritance, it could be a multiple, anything. Okay, let me just create a class parent. Now those who have not joined yesterday's live session, so I'll just give you a brief about what I'm doing and how a class is created and what is an object. Okay, so guys, just a moment. So class parent, so whenever you are creating a class, okay, you have to mention the keyword class, and then you followed by the class name, then followed by a colon, and then you can create your own methods inside the class. So suppose I'm creating a method called as show, and then you have to always keep self. Okay, it is not compulsory, but it is recommended to use self. Okay, in place of self you can use any keyword, but it is safe to use self. Okay, so def so self is what? Self is a reference variable. Okay, and inside the, now you can perform this show is a method. Okay, is a method of the class parent. Now inside this show method, I'll just write a simple thing that I am the parent. Okay, now this method is completed. Next is I'll create one more class, that is class child. Now how to inherit. Okay, so whenever you have to inherit a class to another class, suppose this parent is a class which we have already created. Now what we want, now we have one more class, that is, that class name is child, and this child class wants the property of the properties and the behaviors of its parent class. Okay, so how it will get it, how we will inherit the parent class in child class. So you have to write it like this. This is the syntax. You have to use it like this. Class, then the name of the class. Then if you want to inherit some property of another class, so you have to write the name of that class. Okay. So followed by the round braces. Okay. So child, round braces, and then the name of the class from which you want to inherit something. So parent. So parent followed by the colon, and then everything will be same. Okay. So for now, I don't want to create anything special of this child class. Okay, I just want to pass it. Means this child class will be a empty class. This child class will not have anything of its own. Okay, so it has, means this child has everything from the parent only. For now, the child has nothing. So that's why whenever you have to create an empty class in Python, so you have to use the keyword pass. Okay, you have to always use the keyword pass when you have to create an empty class. Okay, now those who have not attended the yesterday's live session, so for those people, how to create an object, you have seen how to create a class. Now I'll show you how to create an object. So whenever you have to create an object of a class, suppose there is a class called as child, and I want to create an object of the child class. So then what you have to do, you have to first write the object name. Now this object name is user based, means user can uh, choose the name. Okay, so suppose I'm taking C as my object name, so C. Then you have to use the assignment operator, and then you have to write the name of the class whose object you want to create. So I want to create the object of the child class, so that's I have written child here. Okay, followed by the round braces. Okay, followed by the round braces. Now I want to call, now this is how you create an object. Okay, this is the way you create an object. Now let's come back to the topic. We were discussing inheritance. Now this child class has nothing of its own. Okay, but it is inheriting the parent class. So it means what? It can access this show method also. So we have created the object of this child class, and using the object of the child class, which is C, we will call this show, and let's see it will be called or not. Okay, yeah, so successfully it has been called. As you can see, I am the parent. What we have written in the parent class show method, that is accessible using the object of the child class. Okay, means it's very simple. No, it is a single inheritance. And what does it mean? It means that a child inherits traits like eye color from its a single parent. Okay, means out of the two parents, child inherits the eye color from one of the parents only. So that is the real life analogy. Okay, so you can connect with the your real life also, that you must have something of your parents, of your one parent. Okay, suppose the eye color or the facial means the facial structure, anything. Okay, so that is the thing. Now this was inheritance. Okay, this is inheritance. Okay, where you can, what we done here, we have just simply use one method which we have created in another class to one class. Okay, so that is the thing. This is simple definition and simple way of showing inheritance in Python. Okay. Now, this is the example of a single level inheritance also. Okay. Single level inheritance also. Now, most of the people will ask now, what is single level inheritance? So, single level inheritance means, or single inheritance means that one parent, there would be one parent and one child class. Okay. One parent and one child class, and parent is also called as base class, and child class is also called as derived class. Okay. So in some places, if you want to read about Python OOPS concept, class and object concept, so in some places the parent class will be given as a base class and child class will be given as derived class. So don't get confused. Okay, both are same things. Parent, base, child, and derived, both are same. Okay, only the keywords are different. So yeah, don't get confused. Okay. So this was single level inheritance. This was a very basic example. Now I'll show you uh, one more example uh, for single level inheritance. Okay. Let's take a real life example. So what we are going to do, uh, we are going to show the relation between the employee and a manager. Okay. So tell me one thing. If you're working at a place, so and you are working at a position of a manager. So manager is what? Manager is also an employee of an company or a employee of an organization. But the position of that employee is that he is or she is a manager. Okay. So now we'll show the relationship between employee and a manager. Okay. Using single level inheritance. Now how we are going to do that? For that, first of all, we'll create a class employee. Okay, so there is a class employee. Then what we are going to do? Now we'll call our constructor, okay, in it that we have already discussed about in the previous class, okay. Then self dot name and name. Why we are doing this self dot name equals to name? Because we are making this name as an instance of the class, okay, instance of the class. Then we'll create one more function, def work, and again we'll take self, yeah, like this, and then we'll print. Then we'll print self dot name is working. Obviously, employee will work only. Okay. Then we'll create one more class, and the class name will be manager. Okay. And this manager class is going to inherit employee. Okay. Now we'll create one method inside this manager class, that is def manage. This manage class is going to take one parameter. Oh, yeah, incomplete syntax. Okay, never mind. Def manage self and print. Now here we will print self dot name is managing the team. Okay, that's good. Let's close the print function. And now let's create it. Now we are going to create now the blueprint of the class has been created. Okay, we have created a class employee. In that we have created a constructor which is taking one parameter name. We have initialized the name as an instance of the class. Then we have create one more method of that class work. And in that we are showing that self dot name, whatever the name is working. Then we have created a manager class. Yeah. Then we have created a manager class. In the manager class, we are inheriting the employee class. Okay. And then this manager class now will have its own property also. In the previous example, the child was not having anything of its own. But now in the manager class, we are giving one method one more property of the manager class. Of now, this manage is the its own property of the manager class. So def manage self, and now in this self, what we are doing, we are accessing this self dot name. So self dot name is managing the team. Means this name, okay, this name from here, we are accessing it in the manager class inside the manage method. Now what we are going to do, now we'll create the object of the manager class. Okay, manager. Let's give a name m dot walk and then m dot manage. Let's execute the code. Okay. Now guys, as you can see in the output, okay, as you can see the output, Alice is working and okay, this is the output. I hope the output is visible to you guys. Alice is working and Alice is managing the team. Okay. Now, what we are getting it here in the manager class, we were not taking any parameter. The only single parameter which we were taking was in the employee class. Okay. But because we have inherited the employee class in manager, so now in manager also you have to give one. Okay. You have to give one what? A means a parameter, a argument. Okay. You have to pass the name here. So that name was Alice. So when we pass the name Alice, so this goes to here. Now from this employee, it sends the Alice name here. Now this name is being executed here. Now we have called m dot work. Okay. So using this object m, we are calling this method work. Okay. So this Alice name has been passed here. So now this has Alice in it. Then this Alice is called here. So Alice is working is now printed. Okay. Then we are calling m dot manage. Okay. Now this manage is the self property. Okay. This manage is what? This manage is the own. It is the own method of the manager class. So that obviously can be called using the object of the manager class. But in this, one more thing is there that we are calling the name. We are calling the name Alice from the employee class only. Okay. So self dot name. So Alice is managing the team. Okay. So now Alice is managing the team. I hope you have understood it. Is it clear? Is this program is clear to you guys? Okay, let me just zoom out so that in one go you can see the whole code. Okay, guys, type yes if you have understood the single level inheritance so that we can move ahead. Or if there is any confusion, just you can ask in the chat. Just let me know you have understood or not. Yes or no. And if no, then what part you have not understood. Okay, guys, do let me know if you have understood. Nishchal, you can add it in each class, okay? It's not necessary that it will be in one class only. Because my code structure was like this because of that. You can have init function, means init constructor, basically in every class. Okay. What is init? It is a constructor. So you can have it in in all the classes. Okay, unknown. Uh, can you tell about self, please? We have discussed about self in the previous class, but in brief, I'll just tell you that see, um, self is a reference variable. Okay, self is what? Self is a reference variable. Reference variable means it just makes the variable instance of the class. Okay, It just makes the variable instance of the class. Means it just relates it to object. Just know about that it is a reference variable, and it just uh, means see this line of code. Okay, if you are able to see this line of code, self dot name equals to name, what we are doing it here, where name came from. Name is the parameter which we are taking in the init. Init is what? Init is a constructor, a special type of method. So whenever an object is created, init will automatically get called. Okay, and self is a reference variable. So whenever we are initializing name with self dot name, so this name is now, it becomes an instance of the class, means it get connected to the object. Okay, okay, unknown. Okay, unknown, I think now it will be more clear to you. Okay, so guys, I hope you have understood the single level inheritance. So now we can move to the next topic. Okay, or any question regarding single level inheritance, you can just type in the chat. Let's move forward. Okay, and when I'll see the chat, I'll just reply it. Okay, I'll just explain you again. Okay, so the next is, there is multiple inheritance. Okay, so let's multiple multiple inheritance. Okay, now what happens in multiple inheritance? In multiple inheritance, uh suppose there is a child. Okay, now child can learn skills from both the parents. Okay, from mother also and from father also. Okay, so this is a real life analogy. Suppose if you were a child, so you suppose you have learned cooking from your mother and working from your father, hard working from your father. So these are two types of skills which you have learned, okay, from both the parents. So that is multiple inheritance, that a child class can inherit from two or more parent classes, okay, at the same time. So that is multiple. When one class is inheriting from more than one class. Okay, so that is called as multiple inheritance. Okay, now I'll just follow up this real life analogy that child learns skills from both parents. I'll just show you that here in the programming way. Okay, so I'll create two classes. First of all, one class father. Okay, and I'll give a skill to the father, that father do what? Father do hard work. So I'll just create a method called as work, def work, print works as engineer. Okay, so this is the trait of the father, that he does hard work. Okay, works as engineer. And let's create a mother class. Now, mother cooks well. Okay, so let's give a skill to mother that cooks well. Okay, so def cook. Okay, and we'll just simply print cooks delicious food. Okay, now we'll create a child class. And now this child class will be inheriting from both. Okay, from the father class also, from the mother class also. So father and mother. Now see the way. Okay, see the way how we have written it, how we are inheriting from both. First the class child, then the round braces, then first the father class and then the mother class. Okay, just we are separating the two classes just by a comma, father comma mother. Okay, in this way you are just incorporating the multiple inheritance. Okay, and we don't want anything special of the child. Okay, okay, so there will be no own properties of the class child. It is taking everything from the parents only. But we can create an object of the child class because this child class is inheriting from both. So c equals to child, Okay, now I hope the code is visible to you guys. Yeah, C equals to child, then C dot work, C dot cook. Okay, okay. Now let's just execute this. Now you can see the output. Works as engineer, cook delicious food. Okay, so both the traits, the trait of father also and the trait of mother also, the child class have both. Okay, why? Because it is inheriting from both, from father also, from mother also. Okay, so this is the thing. Now let's take one more example so it will be more clear to you guys. So for our next example, what I'll do, uh, I'll give you a real life example. Okay, someone has messaged, Sheikh Noor Jahan has messaged that, Sir, learning Python deeply, will I get the job? Yes, obviously you will get a job. Just choose the field wisely in Python also. Okay. If you are good in maths, then you can go with ML and AI, then focus on that. Okay. And then further you can go with deep learning also. Okay, Nishchal is asking that Python is a mandatory language to learn if you want to be in IT field. See, there is in industry there is not only Python as a language, okay, there are more languages also, but nowadays Python is in trend because Python as a Python is a versatile language, okay, means you can do everything, almost everything with Python. So that's why there is a demand of Python, okay? So that is the thing. And in other programming languages, there are some limitations. They are specially designed for some purpose, okay? But from Python you can almost do everything which you can perform with any other programming languages. So because of that, people are nowadays, Python is very important and people want to learn Python nowadays. Okay, again in AI tools also they use. Yes, all the tools, mostly all of them are based on Python only. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We can uh, go ahead with the next example. Okay, so next example will be, uh, let's say a smartphone. Okay, we use a smartphone, everyone uses a smartphone. Now a smartphone is what? It has the specialty, it has a capability of a camera also, and it can make calls also. I mean, it can act as a phone also, it can act as a camera also. So both the works you can perform in a smartphone. Okay. So a smartphone can be uh, can inherit from what? Can be inherited from camera also, can be inherited from phone also. Okay. So that thing we are going to see that the real life example we'll see in the smartphone. So let's create first of all a class called as camera. Okay. And what is the specialty of a camera? That it take photo. So let's take photo. And let's print something. Okay, let's print small text that taking photo. Okay, let's create one more class called as phone def. Now what is the specialty of a phone? That it make call. So let's create a method for make call, def make call, and let's print calling someone. Okay, now we'll create a class which is going to inherit both camera and phone. Okay, so smartphone. So let's create a class called as smartphone, which is going to inherit from camera also and some properties from phone also. And let's do what? Let's give this a smartphone its own property also this time. Okay. So use internet. Okay. Let's print using or browsing internet. Okay. So now let's discuss about the blueprint of this whole code, whole class. We have a class camera, which has its own specialty that it can take photo. Okay. Then we have a class phone, which has its own property that it can make call. Then we have a class smartphone, which is inheriting both camera and phone, and it has its own property also that we can use internet also. Okay. Now, now what we'll do, we'll just create the object of a smartphone class. Okay, smartphone. Now, using this object of a smartphone, that is S, we are going to call the take photo method also, the make call method also, and the own method of a smartphone also. Okay. So let's call take photo first, then call make call, and then call its own, that is use internet. Okay. So taking photo, calling someone, and browsing internet. Okay. This is one very good example of showing multiple inheritance. Okay, let me write here multiple inheritance. Okay, I hope you guys now understood about multiple inheritance. Okay, and with the example, it is more clear. You can see the whole code. I'll just, okay, you can see the code again. Okay, okay, let's move to the next level of inheritance, that is multi-level inheritance. So, okay, now multi-level inheritance. What happens in multi-level inheritance? Or simply there could be a question, what is multi-level inheritance? Okay, so in multi-level inheritance, I'll just give you a small example, okay, of your family traits, then it will be more easy for you guys to understand multi-level inheritance. Suppose you have a grandparent, okay, okay, and your grandparent means grandparent have some properties or agricultural lands or some money or some means something, some properties and some behavior. Okay, let's take an example of a land only. Suppose your grandparent purchase a piece of land. Okay, now that land will be automatically shifted to your parent, means their child, means the grandparent child is who, your parents only. So grandparents that he bought the piece of land will be automatically transferred to your parent. Okay, now your parent can do what? Now your parent must have purchased more lands, or they have invested in share markets on or any in other places. Okay, so now your parent will have that piece of land also that your grandparent has bought, and then your parent will have their own incomes also that will be also reserved. Now the whole thing, that piece of land and the parent own uh, money also, that will be automatically shifted to you, to the child. Okay, so this is called as multi-level. Means we are transferring the, in programming language we can say we are transferring the properties and behaviors of one class to another class, and then from that class to one more class. Okay, so that is called what? We are inheriting properties and behavior in a level. We are following a level. Okay, suppose grandparent to parent and parent to child, then child to grandchild. Okay, this is a proper level. We are following a level, so that is called as multi-level inheritance. Okay, in that we follow a level. Now I hope you have understood with the example. Now I'll just program the example in the editor. Okay, so let's say we have a grandparent. Okay, let's say we have a grandparent have a house. Okay, built by him only. Okay, so we'll just print has a house. Okay, okay, then there will be your parent. Okay, now your parent will inherit the grandparent. So parent is inheriting grandparent. And for now, for this example, suppose your parent means your parent is just working with, means living in that same house only. Okay, your parent does not build any other house. Okay, so they are also living in the same house. Okay, so I'll just keep it empty. Then now you are also living in the same house. Okay, so you are inheriting from the parent. You are inheriting from the parent. And now you are, because you are working, so you have also not built a house yet. So just I'll just keep it empty. Now I'll create a child. Now I'll create an object of the child class. Okay, and using the child class, I'll do what? I'll call the function, the method house, which is the method of the grandparent class. Okay, and let's see what's the output. Okay, so now you can see the whole code. Okay, now the main thing to notice here is that the child is not inheriting grandparent directly. Okay, if you'll notice, you will notice that the child is not inheriting grandparent directly, but it is calling the method house which is present in the grandparent. So how is it possible? Okay, so it is possible because we are following a level. The grandparent class is the base class which has been inherited in the parent class, and then the parent class has been inherited in the child. So now what is happening here? The child has the property of parent and parent has the property of grandparent. So this grandparent properties are also directly linked to the child. Okay. So that's why when we are creating an object of the child class and we are calling the method house, which is present in the grandparent class, then also we are getting the output. We are not getting any error. I hope you have understood this. Guys, you have understood this? Give a yes. Give a yes if you have understood. Everyone, give a yes if you have understood. And if no, then at what part you have not understood, you can mention that. Because most of the people who are learning OOPS concept get confused in multiple and multi-level. So that's why this multi-level is very important. Uh, Saurav Chadda is asking a question that Saurav Chadda, see, the inheritance is a concept of OOPS, okay, object-oriented programming. And object-oriented programming comes with class and object when we deal in class and object. So inheritance itself is a property of class and object only. So it cannot be done in functions. In functions, you can follow a modular approach, means function inside a function, okay? That thing you can do. But inheritance like thing is not achievable. It is a property of object on oops concept only. Okay. I hope you have get your answer. You can follow a modular approach with the functions. Means function inside function, like a nested function thing. So you can do that, but inheritance is the concept of oops only. So you have to do it with do within class and object only. Okay. So most of the people have said yes, they have understood. So let's do what? Let's take one more example, okay, of multi-level inheritance. Okay. Uh, let's take an example where there will be a animal. Okay. So trait of an animal is what? That animal eats. Okay. Means animal eat their food. Okay. Then we'll create. Then there will be a dog. Dog is an animal. Okay. So what is the trait of a dog? That dog barks. Okay. Then we will have one more thing. Puppy. Puppy is a variety of dog. And what does puppy does? They weep. Okay. So now this real life thing will incorporate in our programming. Now let's do that. So we'll create a class, first of all, animal. Now, main trait of animal is that they eat. So I'll create a method eat. Now we'll take one more class. Okay. There are animals, there are different types of animals. So dog is also an animal. Okay. Now, specialty of dog is that dog barks. Now, dog eats also, but main thing of dog are that they bark. So print. Then we'll create one more class as puppy. It is a variety of dog. Or when the dog is a small, it is called as puppy. Okay. And what does the puppy does? Initially, when the dogs are small, they don't bark. They just make a sound, which something similar to weep weep. Okay. So yeah. Now what we are going to do, we will create a object of the puppy class, and using this object, we will call every method. So we'll call p.eat, we'll call bark also, and we'll call weep. Okay. Now you can see the output. Animal eats food, dog barks, and puppy weeps. Okay. So this is also a very good example of showing multi-level inheritance. Okay. So you can use this example also. I'll just show you the whole code. This is the whole code, and this is the output. Now, now I hope you guys have understood multi-level inheritance. So let's move to the next type of inheritance, that is hierarchical inheritance. Now, in hierarchical inheritance, what happens? There is one class, okay? Suppose there is one parent, okay? And that parent has two children. One is son and one is daughter, okay? So both the son and daughter will take the surname of the parent only, okay? Irrespective of the gender, that it is a son, it is a daughter, it is going to take the surname of its parent only, okay? So this example we can take in our programming. So let's just do what? Let's just take this example. So let's create a class called as parent. So main analogy of this hierarchical inheritance is that there is one base class, means one parent class, and then all the child classes will inherit from the parent class only. That is hierarchical inheritance, okay? So suppose we have a parent class, and this parent class will have a method called as surname. And let's say the surname is Sarma, which is the very common surname, okay? Then we have a class called as son, which is inheriting from parent, okay? But the son has nothing of its own, okay? It is taking from parent only. Then we have a class called as daughter, and daughter is also inheriting the surname or the property from the parent class only, okay? And daughter has also nothing of its own. So let's create. Now we can do two things, as you can directly call the surname also, okay? The surname method also, like this. This will also work. Son dot surname or daughter dot surname. So in both, it's going to give you the same surname Sarma. Or what you can do, you can create two objects, one object of the son class, one object of the daughter class, and using the objects, you can call the method surname. Okay, that will also work. So this is one new way which you can see here, which you have learned this son dot surname and daughter dot surname, and this is the output. You can use this way also whenever you are using hierarchical inheritance, or you can create two objects of son and daughter, each of son and one of daughter, and then you can call the surname one by one. That also will all work. Okay. Now let's take a real life example. Yeah, am I audible, guys? I don't know, the network is getting fluctuated. I just fix it now. I hope it is okay. Yeah. Uh, Now am I audible? Guys, do let me know that if the screen and the voice is clear or not. Okay. Okay. Is it clear? Guys, do comment please. Okay. Okay. Let's continue. Uh, let's see one more example of hierarchical inheritance. Okay. So, suppose if there is a car and there is a bike. Now, the car is also a vehicle. Okay. It will also run on fuel. And bike, it is also a vehicle and it will also run on fuel only. Okay. So, what you can do, we will simply create a class, okay, called as vehicle, and we'll give a trait to this, means of method to this class, that fuel. Okay. And I will just simply print vehicle needs fuel. Now let's create one class called as car, which will inherit from vehicle, and this car will also have its own property, that whenever we are driving a car, means when we are on a car, so we are driving it. So whenever we are in a car, we drive it. So drive is the property which is a unique property of car. So we'll print driving a car. Okay. Then let's say we have one more class called as bike, which is also inheriting from vehicle class only, and we'll write def. Now, whenever we are on a bike, we ride a bike. Okay, we don't drive a bike, we ride a bike. Okay, so ride is the property, our own property of bike class, riding a bike. Okay, now let's do what? Let's create two objects now. One object of the car class. Okay, and using this C, you are going to call fuel also, and you will call drive also. Then again, we will create one object B for bike, and we will call again fuel with the B object and B dot ride. Okay. Now let's see the output. Okay. Vehicle needs fuel, driving a car. Vehicle needs fuel for riding a bike. Okay. So you can see the whole code. Okay. It is not visible in one part of the screen. So you can see the first part, and then the rest 2 3 lines you can see here. Okay, and this is the output, and this is hierarchical inheritance, that there will be one parent class or one base class, and the rest of the child classes or derived classes will inherit that same parent class only. Okay, that is hierarchical inheritance. Now at last there is one more inheritance, that is called as hybrid. Now hybrid inheritance, there is a saying for hybrid inheritance. Okay, and that is that in hybrid inheritance nothing is fixed. Okay, or nothing is known. So what happens in hybrid inheritance? So in hybrid inheritance, anything can happen, means any class can inherit any class. Okay, any class can inherit multiple class, or multiple classes can inherit a same class. Okay, means single level inheritance can also happen, multi-level inheritance can also happen, multiple also, hierarchical also. Okay, so when it is not fixed, and suppose combination of different inheritance is called as hybrid inheritance. Okay, so hybrid inheritance is what? Okay, hybrid. The word hybrid is also what? When we fuse two different things together. Okay, when we engage two different things together to form a new object, to form a um, new being. So that is called as a hybrid. Okay, in agriculture also we do the same thing. We rub to one different seed with another different seed to form a new plant. Okay, or new variation of that plant. So that is the thing, that is hybrid. So if you want to take an example of hybrid, you can see any example will suit in hybrid inheritance. Suppose single level and multiple inheritance. If you are combining single level and multiple inheritance together, so that is hybrid inheritance. So I'll just give you a small example, okay? Let's say I have a method called A in class A, and this prints A, okay? Then suppose I have a class B which inherit class A, and it has its own property also, which prints B. Then I have a class C which also inherits class A, and it has its own method also called as class C, and this also print C. Then at last I will take a class D which will inherit both classes B and C. Okay, so now this is multiple inheritance, and then this will have its own method also, D self. Okay, and this we are going to print D in it. Now let's create an object of the class D, and using this object we are going to call obj A, then we'll call obj dot B, obj dot C, and obj dot D. Let's see the output. Okay, so you can see A, B, C, D, everything will be there because B is also inheriting A, C is also inheriting A, and D is inheriting B and C. So D is directly inheriting, means not directly but indirectly inheriting A also. So with obj means object of D, A is also callable. B is obviously callable because B and C are directly getting inherited, and D is the method of its own, so D will be also inherited. Okay, so output will look like this: A, B, and C, D. Okay, so this was hybrid inheritance. Now, a real life example for a hybrid inheritance will be anything. Okay, suppose there is a person. Now that person is a student also, and that person is an athlete also. Okay, and then the same person is a scholar athlete also. Means that same person is a research scholar also and an athlete also. Okay, so there is one person which is a student also, which is an athlete also, and at the same time he is an scholar athlete also. So you can create, okay, your own uh, hybrid inheritance. Okay, that depends on you. Means any class is inheriting from any class. I hope you have understood. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think you have understood the hybrid inheritance. So I'm not going to show one real life example. Real life example I have told you. I'll just mention it here. You can take it as an assignment. Just go home, or if you are in home or you are just directly writing the codes. So after the session will be over, you can try it. Okay. So I'm just writing the question over here. What you can do, you can just simply try doing with your own. Okay. So I'll not give you a question. I'll just give you a highlight. Okay. That what you have to do. You have a class, suppose you have a class called as person. Okay. Now this person is a student. Okay. This person is a student. Then there is one athlete. Okay. These all are classes: person, student, and athlete. These are all classes. So person is a class and a student is a class. And this arrow means that this student is inheriting person. Okay. Then there is a separate class athlete, which is not inheriting anything. It is a different class. Then you have a scholar. Then you have a scholar athlete class. Okay. And this scholar athlete class is doing what? This is inheriting both a student. Okay, I wrote it in different way. Let me write it in this. So, so student plus athlete. Okay. These two classes, the student and athlete classes, are being inherited by the scholar athlete class. Okay. So there is one class person which is being inherited by student class. Then there is a separate athlete class. Then a student and athlete class are getting inherited by scholar athlete class. And you have to create the object of a scholar athlete class, and then you have to call all the methods. And now the methods, I'll just leave it to you guys. Okay. Okay guys, I'll just leave the objects to you. So just note this out. Okay. And based on your best understanding, okay, just try to solve this question of hybrid inheritance. And then if you'll solve it correctly, then it will means you have understood inheritance then. Okay. So yeah, I hope you have understood the question. Just note it down in your pen, paper, copy, laptop, editor, whatever you are using, just note it down. Okay. And now we'll move forward. And inheritance is over, but there is one more topic in inheritance that I want to discuss. And that is not a topic, that is a problem. Okay. And that problem is in the multiple inheritance. Okay. And it is a very common question also. It is asked in interviews also. Whenever you will go on an interview. Okay. So this is a very common question asked. Okay. From OOPS, object oriented programming. And that is that there is a problem in multiple inheritance, and that problem name is diamond problem. So let me write it over here. Problem in multiple inheritance, and that problem name is the diamond problem. Okay. The problem name is that the diamond problem. Okay. Or let me write like this: the diamond problem. Now, first of all, I'll show you the diamond structure. Okay. And what is the problem? Okay. So let me just write the code first. So there is a class A, and this class will is having a method called as show. Then there is a class B, which is inheriting class A, def show self B. Now don't get confused. I'll explain each and everything. Just let me first write the code, okay? So we have seen this program earlier also. In today's session only, I think we have seen this. Okay. Now, guys, tell me that I have created an object D of class D, okay? And I'm calling the show method, okay? D dot show. Now tell me which show method out of this three show method, which show method will be get called? Okay, so this is the code. Now, which show method will be called? Do comment, guys. Which show method will be called? Anyone? No? Okay. Let me just tell you that the show method will be called will be B. Okay. Let's see the output. Let me execute it. Okay. So B. Okay. So those who have said B, you are correct. Other than B is wrong. Now this is the confusion part. Okay. Those who have said some other, okay, there is some A, there is some C. Yeah. So those who have said A, C, or D, okay. So that is the confusion part, and that is the same thing which you have think of. That is called as diamond problem. Okay. So confusion was always between both B and C because both B and C is overriding the show method of class A. Okay. And class D is inheriting both B and C at the same time. So which show will be called? That was the problem. Okay. So B show will be called means B show means class B show method will be called. Okay. Now solution to this method is that uh, you have to see that uh, after which class has the rights. Okay. So after the class D, which class has the right? You have to see that. So that is called as MRO, method resolution order. So you have to check the MRO, okay, then only you can tell that which class is going to be used. So to check the MRO, you have to just write a code that is whatever the class object you have created. So you have created the class of D. So D dot MRO, okay, like this. So now you can see you have get a list, okay, a list of classes, okay, and in this you can see it is in order. So first main class, okay, main class is of D, then which class has the next right? Next right has the B class, then which class has the right? Then as C class has the right, then at the end A class has the right, okay. So you can use this keyword, okay, whenever you are in multiple inheritance. Okay, whenever you are in multiple inheritance, you have and you are confused that which class is going to be used, so then you can see this by writing d.mro. Or there is one more thing, you can write like this, or you can write like this also, d dot underscore underscore mro underscore underscore, and yeah, same thing you will get with this also. So you can write mro parenthesis or underscore underscore mro is what? Mro is method resolution order. Okay. Or there is one more thing which we can do. You can just write help D. So this will give you a hierarchical structure of class DBC method resolution order. D is there, then there is B, then there is C, and then at the end there is A. Okay. So I hope you have understood now. And there is one more way. Okay. If you'll apply a little bit logical sense here, then also you can guess it also. How you can guess it? Simply you have to look at the code, okay, at one go. Okay. You have written d dot show. Now see where are the show methods present. So show method is in C also, is in B also, is in A also. Okay. Now if you'll notice, D is not in directly contact with A, but C and B are in directly contact with A. Okay. And basically method overriding is happening here. Means one method which has been created in A, that is show, that method is being overridden in B, and that method is being overridden in C also. Okay. Method name is same, that's why method overriding is happening. But what operation we want to do, here we are printing A, but in B class we are printing B, and in C class we are printing C. Okay. But we are creating the object of class D, and in the D class, if you'll notice, in the D class, if you'll notice, first you have written B. Okay, first you have written B. So that's why whenever you will call D dot show, so B will be called. Okay, now I'll show you. If I'll write first C and then B, so the output will be changed and it will be C. Okay, and then whole output will be changed. MRO will also get changed. Now you will see in the MRO also main D and then class main C and then main B and then main A. Okay, and in the help also it will be changed. DCBA. Now it is changed. So it depends on the class which is inheriting the multiple inheritance, which is incorporating the multiple inheritance. Okay, and which class is written first at the time of performing inheritance. So now I have changed it to C. So C will be printed here. So method of C class will be printed. Then B will be printed. Okay. So this was the diamond problem, guys, which is present in multiple inheritance only, and how to incorporate it means what is the solution of that diamond problem. So solution is the MRO, method resolution order, and there is one shortcut way also to guessing it. Okay, so you can follow that way also. So okay. And there is one more saying that मल्टीपल इनहेरिटेंस में कंफ्यूजन तब होता है जब दो मम्मी पापा के सेम फंक्शन होते हैं, फिर पाइथन कहता है एमएरो देखो बेटा, मुझे मत देखो. सो दैट इज आल्सो देयर. ओके. या. Okay guys, have you understood this diamond problem and the solution of the diamond problem? If yes, do type yes in the comment. Okay. Then let's revise all the topics. I'll ask small questions of yes and no and one word questions. Okay. So when you'll reply to that questions, what will happen? All the things which we have learned today, that will be revised once more. So it will be more clear. Okay. So I'll just start with one question, that is, can we use positional keyword default. Okay, guys. Now tell me the answer in yes or no. That can we use positional, keyword, default, args means arbitrary argument and keyword arbitrary argument all in one function? Yes or no? Yes, yes, yes. Very nice. Yes is the correct answer. Okay. Okay. So your next question is that can a Python classes inherit properties from another class? Is it possible? Yes or no, guys? Can Python classes inherit properties from another class? Okay, yes. Everyone is saying yes. That can Python classes inherit properties from other class? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Good. Those who are saying yes, correct. Okay. One more question. Okay. One more question. Can a Okay, guys, next question is, can a multi-level inheritance chain go beyond two levels? Okay, guys, can a multi-level inheritance chain go beyond two levels? Is this possible? That multi-level inheritance, we can do it beyond two levels? Is it possible? Yes or no? Okay, yes. Yeah. Those who are saying yes, correct. Okay, one more question. Okay, guys. The next question is hybrid inheritance a combination of more than one type of inheritance? Yes or no? Okay, yes, of course, yes. Okay, those who are saying yes, correct. Yes is the correct answer. I have said in the definition of hybrid inheritance also that it is a combination of more than one type of inheritance. Okay, so yeah. Okay, guys, uh, that's all for today. We have learned inheritance, okay, and about the diamond problem and about Python functions. So, okay, that's all for today. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching continuously, and I hope you have learned something about Python and you'll find it helpful. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you. So we'll catch up in the next class, okay, whenever the next live session will be. Yes, Nicholas, thank you. Thank you. Nischal, thank you.